BaxterTheBaitman. Yes, I've been yelling at my TV. Balls. Got it done. Always good when we beat the Wildcats. Pretty pumped myself. So let's get my YouTube here fired up and Facebook, and I'll share this live stream. And I got to see here what we're going to talk about tonight. I think we're just going to wing it. You know, I might make fun of some people. I might call some people out. There's some things that's really frustrating me with YouTube. Let's see what we got going here. I'll get this. Got 3 guys in here. So last Saturday night we had roughly, good gracious, we had almost 500 people. Actually, we did have 500 people at one time. Yeah, I want one of these crankbaits as well. Those are actually called, I think the company's like Monkey Brain or something. They're in Japan. They make a very limited run. I'm gonna post this over on my Facebook page real quick. And they're a balsa crankbait, and we might talk about a little balsa crankbait action tonight as well. But I think, unless I'm wrong, you guys voted to talk some winter fall swim bait fishing, and I like that. I really don't have all the swim baits I want to talk about, but we'll make do. And let me post this up. Hopefully my son isn't going to play Call of Duty tonight and make the stream go slow. So I'll answer some questions stuff here in just a minute, guys. I'm just trying to get everything set up. I had to rush to get out here. Unfortunately, that Wildcat offense makes it kind of tough sometimes. Got to find the community page over here. Why is this thing always like this? I just need to find, if you guys have ever used YouTube, I don't know if you have or not, but they've really changed up the interface when you upload videos and stuff, and it's just garbage. It's really confusing. All right, y'all said just wing it again, baby, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to wing it. I don't have a lot of new baits or anything. I want to pop out my chat here. What's up, Chris Morrow, my man? I don't know if Baitman knows football, but Baitman definitely knows some baits. So let's get this thing rolling here. So, all right. First things first, I really want to talk about, if y'all have been on the 6 Sense website, they've dropped some new apparel. They got a really sweet jacket. I better turn this light on because we're going to need it tonight. They got a really nice new jacket, but it's $129. But if you want to save some money, you just use that code Baitman for 10% off. Ranger 374, those are not painted by Paul Cruz. Those are made in Japan. The one Paul Cruz paints, he usually paints those jaw jackers. So, hey, Dave from Alabama, what's up? I have not been on Pickwick lately. I need to go. What's up, Dustin Taylor? And by the way, LSU just took down Alabama. And how do you not love Coach O? Go Tigers! Go Tigers! He's a trip, man. Great recruiter, great coach. Very happy for them. All right, Dave Thomas. What day does the burrito baits come for sale? And what he's talking about is these guys right here. I hadn't put nothing away from last time. I'm just scattered everywhere. This right here, this is a burrito gill. BurritoBaits.com. You need to get on his website about 6:55 tomorrow night. That's Central Time, 6:55 Central Time. And he'll have some baits up. I don't know what he's putting up this week, but he did put some of these right here on his website, but it had a jig hook. So it was a jig hook shad. Dude, LSU is for real. They are really good offensively. And for the most part, they have a really good defense. Alabama, to be honest with you, they played good. They played hard, but I feel like this year's Bama team does not have that it factor on defense like they usually have. So, what's up, Will Perryman? Hope all's good for you, buddy. So, I don't know what we're going to talk about tonight, but I did find some pretty old baits in here. So, if you want to talk, I don't know if you guys have seen all these. I don't know what all these, but these are, this is like a old Rapala fat wrap. I just found this box. I think it was my dad's. That right there used to be a really good wintertime crankbait. Now I want to teach you guys something here on Rapala crankbaits. If you didn't know, yeah, this is a discontinued bait right here. I believe this is a Risto wrap, or it's actually, yeah, it's a down deep fat wrap. And this is a killer cold water crankbait. But on the bottom of the bills, on most of Rapala stuff, it say where it's made. I don't know if you guys can tell this, but it says Ireland right there. Now, you get some of these old school ones. I could have this backwards. Let me pull out a shad wrap. I got a shad wrap here somewhere. God, look at this bait. This thing is a certified piece of crap. It looked cool. I was probably a little gullible when I bought this. It's this is like a half crankbait, half swim bait. Looks like something that the Googans would probably come out with, or maybe even freaking one of the Go Mini box companies. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find one. These are pretty old school shad wraps. You talk about one of the best cold water crankbaits ever made. It's got to be a shad wrap. See if I can find one. Ah, this one right here. This is actually, I believe this is a number 5, and they're, a lot of guys throw a number 6 or 7 or a 4, but they do make a 5. I think I got one right here. Get these untangled. There's not much better. I need to up my shad wrap game, but like on the bottom of this guy, and you'll notice how faded those scales are. That's actually natural. I didn't do that. On the bottom of this one, it says Finland. So guys that collect and whatnot, they really like those Finland shad wraps. I don't know what the difference is. I've never looked into it too hard, but the one thing a lot of guys do with these shad wraps, especially the new ones, the scale patterns are really bright and bold, is they take a little scuff pad and they scuff that thing up. You notice this one, the bill is bent down quite a bit. That's probably just because it's old and gotten hot. It's still dive, but that right there on some riprap on a cold front day, man, that will catch you some fish. Oh gosh, this is one of the first swim baits I ever bought. And there's still guys that look for these things. And I never caught my damn thing on it. This right here, somebody in the comment section, see if y'all know what bait this is right here. This is a kind of sought after bait. Maybe I should get rid of it, or maybe just collect it. But it was actually kind of innovative, but it was just about 3 or 4 years too soon. If y'all know what that swim bait right there is. And they made them bigger, and back in the day, I was 19, 20, I was scared to throw them big baits. There we go. Dave from Alabama hit it on the head. That is the true tungsten swim bait. And there's a little place in here on the bottom. See, there's a little pin right here. You can pull that out, and you can add weights. It lets you take these joints apart, and you can like put weight in there or whatnot. Very cool idea. But True Tungsten was known as a tungsten company, not a swim bait company. But one of my northern friends, you would like this perch. I'm sure it would catch a few fish. I mean, I got all kinds of stuff in here. This is a crazy box. Who remembers these guys? Probably one of the best little river pond baits ever made. That's made by Rebel. It's like the craw or something like that. We are craw. And I remember my dad letting me use these when I was a little bitty. And man, we caught a bunch of smallmouth on this thing. This is a good box. Look at all these little crawfish. That was kind of the first really ultra high def lure back in the day. The old Rebel Craw R. That is really old school. Somebody tell me you have fished this bait right here, and tell me who makes this. And believe it or not, I used to catch quite a few fish on this buzz bait. It's actually a pretty popular company. It's a really good design. It comes through grass really well. That right there is Mr. Twister makes that. I think they still do, but now if I was going to throw this, I'd probably take this hook off, but unfortunately you really can't. Well, yeah, you can. You'd have to uncrimp this part right here. But dude, imagine taking that and putting like a horny toad on the back. Yeah. Maybe we should modify that old school bait. That is definitely old school. That's something I had probably when Kentucky Lake had some milfoil, some hydrilla, grass in it, things like that. So anybody, have we got any Jaints? Anybody caught any Jaints this week? But I really have kind of run out of ideas. I really need to start planning ahead. I've got to go do some filming tomorrow. It's going to be cold too, really cold. This is actually a pretty cool spinnerbait. I don't think I've ever shown this one on here. This is I've been playing with it a little bit. This is anybody here throw sandtone lures? This is a really cool spinnerbait right here. And spinnerbait is something I will throw up until the winter, man. DIY, I'm not much of a spy bait guy. I haven't really figured that deal out. I really think that's kind of a smallmouth oriented technique, but we'll see. And I actually don't even know if it's a wintertime technique, but it's pretty cool. I just need to learn how to fish it. I'm almost too impatient to do it. It's kind of like slow rolling a Cinco with props on it. I do fish Barkley Lake quite a bit in the fall. I actually would rather fish Barkley in the fall because it's got a little dirtier water. And it's not a lot of pressure, but this is the Sandtone M Series, which is the Matt Heron spinnerbait, and I just kind of opened this out of the package. I forgot I even had these, but this is a pretty cool spinnerbait. Got a pretty good hook on it, nice little keeper here on the shank for whatever trailer. Really like the blaze, but I like that head design. It's very similar to like the spot sticker shad head, but one thing I will do, especially an overcast day in the late fall, early winter, I will slow roll these blades, especially around riprap. And believe it or not, I've caught a lot of fish off the ends of deeper docks on the spinnerbait. A lot of times with spotted bass and stuff, the bait fish are really hanging off those deep boat docks for some reason. A little spinnerbait to catch them. So that's pretty cool bait. Let me fix this light right here. All right. Do you have any WEC crankbaits? And which are your favorite ones? I don't, Dirk, and I'd like to buy some, but gosh dang, I'm not spending 50, 60 bucks for like a mutt, which is this big, because I want them to catch fish with, and they are really expensive. I do like copper blades. When do you throw like a spinnerbait over a chatterbait? Actually, it just depends. I'll throw both. I used to be really confident in spinnerbait. That used to be my favorite shallow water technique, pretty much from April on to ledge season, then from like September to now. Really integrated a chatterbait or bladed jig into my arsenal. But I do feel that sometimes most fish are like short striking a chatterbait, or maybe the water is just a little dirty. Sometimes I really like a spinnerbait. You'll get a little bit more flash on the blades, and sometimes you can fish it a lot slower in dirty water, and I like that. And to be honest with you too, I don't fish a chatterbait much deeper than like 8 foot unless I'm specifically targeting ledge fish. So if I'm fishing deeper points and stuff like that, I do like slow rolling that 3/4 ounce spinnerbait quite a bit. Marty, I believe the water temp is in the low 50s. I mean, it's getting really cold at night. I mean, freezing temperatures at night. So, yeah, Carolina crankbaits. He's got a lot of the WEC stuff. I just really don't want to shell out that kind of money. What's up, Cody Platt, my man? I just went through a box I got from yard sale. There's an old Bill Lewis rattle trap in there. Color is purple halo. Ghost, blue back, and shows purple when the light is behind it. I think I've seen that before. That's probably a sweet color. Have you heard that the Strand 100% fluoro was actually made by Sunline? Well, I thought Strand 100% fluoro was discontinued, but Sunline makes a lot of lines for people. I'll be honest. The rumor is Sunline makes Guggen line, and I heard they're also going to make the Strike King line. Now, that doesn't mean it's the same exact line you're buying from Sunline, but they're manufacturing line for those companies, and that's okay. Dirty water, big Colorado blade, pinch to the hook, face for extra click and thumb. That's odd that YouTube did that. One of the Strand fluorocarbons was discontinued. It might have been the high-vis stuff for night fishing, because I had a lot of people calling and asking me years ago, man, I can't believe you have that stuff. It's all discontinued, and I never could reorder it. So there's a lot of new line out there. I'm going to have to hit up Sunline and tell them I need some of this new stuff. They got a new braid out. They've got, they got some other fluorocarbon. They got a specific chatterbait line I want to try. But I tell you what I'm doing, guys. I am selling a bunch of my stuff. I've got too much as far as equipment. I want to be able to use different stuff. So, I had the Shimano SLX, and I'll be honest, I sold it because I want to get a 6-to-1. Not really comfortable throwing with the 7.5 for Swimbait, so I'm going to get me a 6-to-1 on that. I want to try some other reels, some Lew's, some other Shimanos. I still love my Daiwas, so I'm going to sell a bunch of rods and stuff like that. Probably move some baits because I want to have a big versatile lineup. So when people ask questions, I can give them an honest answer. So let's see here. Baitman wore them out last Sunday on a shallow 6-inch crank. Biggest one at 5.5 pounds. Oh yeah. Well, you just tell me that secret color, man. If I knew how to do an auction on here, I would. But it sucks shipping rods. I'll be honest. I sold my baby, my deep crank Loomis. But part of that was I want to try a couple other deep cranking rods. And the deep crankbait bites really been off here the last year and a half. So, why keep something around when I could go get maybe a 806 Dobbins so I can throw this guy right here, the Arashi Glide. So, to be honest, while we're talking about this, I saw, another YouTuber, not going to mention his name. He's a pretty decent guy. Had a live stream, had a thumbnail, Arashi Glide. Pretty much said the same stuff I did about it. I'm definitely not saying he copied me or anything, but obviously what I'm saying is this is a pretty popular bait. So a lot of guys are talking about it. Now this guy said the split rings were junk, but I don't have an issue with these. And believe it or not, I actually like most of VMC's terminal stuff. That's actually a really good snap on there. And really, the best snaps I found, you can get them from Hog Farmer. Scott over there at Hog Farmer Baits, he makes a really good snap. I mean, he puts them on his A-rigs. I would like to get a Fish Everything Taxi Trout Glide. If someone has one secondhand, I'll buy it. I'm just afraid, and I don't mean this bad to the guys over at Fish Everything, but, they're having trouble keeping up with orders and stuff like that. And I don't want to be waiting on a bait for a really, really long time. So, I'll think Vic's a good dude. Obviously, he's a young guy trying to run a business. So, and I don't want to ask guys stuff for free. But, it's a guy I've helped out in the past and whatnot. And let's be honest, I like to help guys out. They help me out. But I I'll definitely want to pay for one. I just don't want to be waiting forever. So I am going to do a Christmas buyer's guide. So that's why I want you guys to help. I'm going to make a poll tomorrow and see what guides y'all want for me to do. Hopefully that YouTube check come in and I can buy some baits to do some buyer's guides on. So, John K., what's the best deep crank rod? Well, in my opinion, what I had was a Loomis 959C DD. That's the best one I found. Now, the Dobbins 806 CB is really, really good. Like, very close. The only thing I'll say about that Loomis, sometimes the handle was too big. The old Shimano Crucials are really good, and there's a deep rod X Pride that's like an 8-footer that's really good. Now, when I say deep, I mean relative. So my deep is like 20 to 25, 30 foot. Now, if you're just throwing 6XDs, like the Crush 15, even the 20, I'm talking diving out to 18, 20 foot. A good 711 cranking rod, even a 7.6, a medium heavy moderate, is going to be really good for you. And you can get a lot of good crankbait rods in that $99 to $150 range. I would like to see Daiwa come out with a 711 cranking rod, because I will be keeping my Daiwa Tatula rods. And I'll keep my Stix rods. The Stix cranking rod's pretty legit. I like it. What about the new line of glass rods for cranking from St. Croix? If you're talking about the S-Glass that came out a couple years ago, those are really good rods. I like those. If you see me looking that way, it's just I've got a light shining right here in the side of my eye. And dang kids are yelling. So, Kevin Gray, what about the new Storm Swimbait, the Rashi here? Personally, I like it. I play with it in my pool. It's got a nice glide. What I will tell you is you can make this thing spin backwards and look a fish right in the face. And, you know, so it's definitely different than my Gancraft. Definitely a bigger bait. Loose Smash is definitely a good reel for the money. You know, Lose, I'll tell you guys this. I'll be really honest about Lose. I think from $59 to $99, they make the best reels. They have got that price point knocked down. Now you get to about 110 to about 199. I think that's Daiwa's market. And then you got the Corrado K at 179. Awesome reel. Once you get over 200, you're pretty much dominated by Shimano and Daiwa. I do like the Lose Hyper Mag and Pro TI, but man, it's hard to lay down those, you know, Metaniums and Steezes and stuff like that. Big Bass Boys, he hasn't got his website done yet, but he let me let you know, guys, know that he appreciates the support, and definitely going to be some Shizzards ready for production very, very soon. I don't know anyone who carries this large selection of Nori's baits. There's I want to think it's like Dave's or something. There's a high-end JDM shop in Chicago. They would get some Nori stuff. Clark, I tell you what you didn't miss. You did not miss LSU beating Alabama, because I saw you posting about it, and it was glorious. Yep, Donnie, I'm a big fan of them, really. When is the last time you went in the water to get your snag lure back? Golly, about every time I go out there. But actually get in the water, probably, well, I'll tell you, probably last year. But, you know, when we're growing up, we all do some stupid stuff. And one time, I was fishing with a buddy of mine. It's actually FLW Tour pro, Brandon Hunter. His brother and I used to fish together. And you know how it is. You can take a couple ladies with you to impress them. And I got to catching a bunch of fish on this War Eagle spinnerbait. And this chick, she was digging it. She thought I was a pro. I didn't have a jersey on because I didn't have a shirt on, because back then, you know, I looked like a decent human being. And I caught about a 4-pound spotted bass. And I made a next cast and got a bite. And this fish come up and it jumped off and my spinnerbait went flying. And she said, "What are you going to do? Tie another one on?" I said, "No, watch this." I jumped in after it. I thought, yeah, I'll be cool. Problem is, I had a cell phone on me, so then I ran my cell phone. I stepped on a rock or something, cut my foot, so she pretty much laughed at me, and we didn't hang out after that. So I don't jump in the water too much after baits anymore, but I'd like to go out there right now. Kentucky Lake's so low, I could probably get a lot of 6XDs back off them stumps. I would like to play with St. Croix stuff. They make some really good stuff. Thoughts on the new carp barrier? Well, I'm glad they finally did something. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm afraid that the carp will get used to it after a little bit, and it's really not going to matter anymore. Because from my experience with the Asian carp, my bow fishing, I got a lot that's gone out, so we'll just have to deal with that. From my experience on the carp bow fishing, the first couple years I fished for them, you could shine a light on them and they wouldn't, spook very hard. Then it got to where you hit them with the light, they're gone. Then we started strobing for them. They didn't know about that, and they would just jump in the boat. Then they got used to that. Now you can run out there with a generator and lights, and those fish just don't even care anymore. So I'm wondering how long it will take for that. Jerry Duncan, which Z-Man jig are you talking about? Because I've got one right here, and this is actually a pretty cool jig. I think I've shown this before. Oops. This is a Z-Man cross-eyed football jig. You see it's got the little boogeyman eyes on it. Kind of like what you see on the old school balsa crankbaits. They put those eyes on it. But what I do like about this jig, it's got a fairly light wire hook. And I like it. But it's also got a removable weed guard. And you can put it in there and just glue it in, and it's good to go. And if you don't want it, you can just take that sucker out. But I really like that hook in that bait. I'm a big fan of that style hook in a football jig. Not super light, not super heavy, just medium. And that's a pretty cool jig. Definitely will catch some fish on that. Just getting into poppers. What's a good one to start with? Well, I tell you what, let's get my popper box out. Let's get one of them. Get one of them. I think I got more. If you can find these guys right here. And this is old school. But this is the one. If you're getting into poppers, you gotta get you a little popper. This isn't a P70. I believe this is a P60. They make a P70, which is a little bit bigger than that. This is my favorite one. And somebody in the chat just said it, and I know who did. But this is a Lucky Craft G-Splash. And they're actually, you can find these quite a bit. Dude, Mikey almost lost a Shizzard. I haven't looked yet. I need to check it out. But that right there is one of my favorite poppers of all time. Dude, you can find these on Facebook. Guys are selling these for like $5-6 a piece. And if you don't like the color, that's okay. Somebody can paint these. They're definitely worth $6 to $10. Holy, there's a dang spider on my table. John Goodman, that thing. But I love the G-Splash. So that's a popper I suggest you really need to add to your arsenal. Another one in here. Dang, I've lost my good ones. I grabbed the wrong box, I think. 6 cents. Obviously, they make a good popper. These are really good. These are hard to find. These are smaller popper, but you see that? That's a Zell Roland Autograph series. This one needs some new hooks, but that's a really good one. Man, lost his depths 250. Well, guess what? They make them every day, boys. That's how I feel about it. I gotta find my other topwater box. Grab this popper too. Oh yeah, here's King Daddy P70. So, and my other favorite popper. So this is my favorite color G-Splash right here. This is my favorite color. Ghost Aurora, I believe. It's either that or Ghost Tennessee Shad. Lucky Craft used to make a Tennessee Shad with the blue bait. This is a killer bait right here. But this guy, that's the P70 popper. That's the big day. This is the hard one to find. And it makes, you can walk this bait really good. You sand this lip a little bit, and this thing will walk back and forth. The Ozuri makes a good popper as well. Dude, I'd love to go to Bacharach Lodge, man, big time. I think I'm just going to go with Clark Ream down there at Rayburn this spring. Maybe he will let the Baitman come on. But this is one of my all-time favorites, just the Rio Rico. It walks so good. It's got these big, loud knocks in it. And I actually put those Gamakatsu G Finesse trebles on here. I don't know if y'all can tell that from here. But, man, I'm telling you, I had a giant at Lake X on this thing. But I've caught so many fish on this bait. It used to be shiny, and it's just dulled out now. But, man, it catches them. So that's my favorite poppers. And then I like the 6 cents popper, too. That's a really, really good one. So, how about them Vols, Terry? Came around clutch. I heard Real Rico, Donna, Vinyl Splash, and Yellow Mac are the same blanks. That is 100% correct. They just have different colors. I don't know if 6 cents is going to make a deep dive and jerkbait again. We'll see what happens. I really think that Provoke is really good because it's not super shallow and it gets down there decent. I don't know. I do know that they want to develop a deeper dive and jerkbait, but I don't know if it'll be a Provoke. I do know too much about these baits, but I'm not the smartest guy alive. Oh, what's the 6 cents walking bait? They got two baits. So I'll show you right here and show you the differences. This is the Dogma 115. So in case you're wondering, it does look like a Reaction Innovations Vixen. It is not as loud. It's got more of a rattle than a tink to it, but it has a great walking action. I definitely like this bait. And then the other one, I'm going to show you something, and I don't know, I may get in trouble putting this up there, but I'm going to have to do it quick. This is the Mag Dog. I believe this is the smaller one, the 130. So if you'll notice, the Mag Dog has a lot bigger body. It's also a lot more, there's more stuff at the head. And we'll look at it from the back. I would say the Mag Dog's more of a slender profile. My only problem about the Mag Dog is it's got 2 trebles. But man, it walks really good. More of a slender aerodynamic profile on the Mag Dog. Again, now it has a louder rattle in that weight in the back. It slides back and forth to make them super long casts. Only 2 hooks. That's my only thing. But I have caught plenty of fish on this thing. They will eat it pretty good. I really do like this one. So where I like the Mag Dog is when there's some wind, because that noise and the wider walk this one has really draws them up. This is great on slick water if you want to walk and bait. Love the Dogma. So, and then, man, I hope somebody don't kill me. I've got another new bait, and that's all you can see of it. And I'm going to tell you who makes that. That is a prototype, and it works really good. So, Impact Jigs, those are cool. That's a Lake Fork deal from Mark Pack. Really good heavy cupper. Love the concept. So, what state has the biggest bass? I'm going to say California pretty easily as far as catching a double digit, but I would not sleep on Alabama. Alabama has got Pickwick and Gunnersville and lots of great private areas. Florida. I'll be honest, if I wanted to catch a double digit just a 10-pounder, I think Texas is where you go. I think you go to Lake Fork. I think you go to Sugar Lake. I think you go to Rayburn and Falcon, and you can catch a 10 probably as easy as you can going out, to Clear Lake, California, or any of that stuff. You may not do it on a swim bait, but they're there. Now, if you want to deep crank some 8s and 9s, Falcon Lake's the way to go. I mean, I think at one time, and Clark would probably tell you, Falcon, Sugar Lake, if you didn't have 5 that weighed 40 pounds, you were just, not even in the vicinity of any big ones. Because I know Terry Bolton told me some crazy stories throwing a big 12-inch old monster at Falcon, and he said, man, I was literally getting mad catching 8-pounders. So, heck yeah, we can do it. I need to start traveling and fishing some. I think at one time, I felt like it was going to happen on Kentucky Lake. For me, I was catching so many 6.5 to 7 pound fish about 4 or 5 years ago. Even during tournaments, I mean, it seemed like somebody was weighing in at 8.5, 9. That I just felt like I was going to catch a double digit, and I've seen one caught. Actually, it was caught on a poplar in a canal. So, man, I'd love to go down there. I do not have any old Berkeley bungee worms. Top 3 baits you tie on midwinter for the coldest temps: a grub on a ball head, an A-rig, and I hate A-rig, or I'm just going to go with a dang jig. And I mean a finesse jig, like a Kitech football jig with a little bitty craw on it, and I'm going to fish it on a light line. That's my 3 favorites, or some kind of blade bait. So for 3, A-rig, a grub on a ball head, or a very small finesse jig. Light line, like 10-pound test fluoro. I don't know about a 9-pound smallmouth that was shocked out of Barkley. I know Lance Freeman caught one in Asian carp net that was probably about 7.5 pounds, but I don't think it was 9. It's kind of weird how this is what I love and hate about the internet. It's weird how a photo goes from, oh man, check out this 6.5, 7-pound smallmouth caught in a fishing net, Asian carp fishing. And then 2 months later, it's like, by gosh, there's a 12-pound smallmouth on Lake Barkley. And I'm like, okay. It's crazy how that went. But Wilson Lake has some awesome smallmouth fishing. So somebody gave me this idea, and maybe Clark let me do this if I was to go to Sam Rayburn, because he's a cool dude. I need to get him on the stream. He don't have the full beard, but he's got the best goatee I've ever seen at one time. But how would y'all like to see Baitman live, or a stream from like an angler's, like let's go over to Clark or Mark Menendez, or let's go to whoever's. We're going to go to their tackle garage and, hey, pull out your coolest baits. Show me your baits, I think that would be really cool to do. Matt Robertson and I are going to make a podcast this week, just a straight up podcast. Let's see how many people we got in here right now this week. See if only 124 guys watching, man. We're slacking. I must have hit that YouTube algorithm pretty good last week, but that's okay. I'll make sure you smash that like button for me. I am going to create a topic next week. So next week, we're definitely going to talk about fall, winter cranking. I've got some new crankbaits on the way I'm going to play with. So get that for sure. Now here's a topwater. I'm going to show you guys this. Now I'm sure y'all know this is the Megabass Pop X. This is a sweet popper. And this thing's been around forever. And someone tried telling me that River to Sea said Megabass copied them. And I'm just going to call some bullshit on that. This thing has been out for a long time. They were the first company that was really using the gill plates in the popper. And I love River to Sea baits. And their bubble walker is awesome, but it is pretty much a Megabass KO. This is a cool color. This one's kind of hard to find. It's kind of like a snake. But Really like this. So there's a Pop Max, and then there's another one that's smaller. I like the big one because, man, I'll be honest, when I throw poppers, I want it big. Oh man. Oh, gotta let you guys know, the Babe is coming back in stock. Probably Monday night. So you guys need to head on over to 3FFishing.com and grab you some of these right here. Let's see, I'll get you one. Oh, oh. This guy right here, one of the best swim baits ever made. In fact, probably one of the best swim bait of all time as far as money. Let's see. So when you get the Babe from 3FFishing.com, it comes in this unique tube. This color is called the Natural, and it kind of imitates a bluegill. It imitates a perch. Could be a shad. Just depends on where you live. And they pack these things, basically put a paper clip right here, and it can be a pain in the ass to get these out. If you'll take your scissors and get that little piece right there pushed out, this guy right here is badass. Was it Purple Haze, Clark, or was it the white one? So they got a new color of the Babe coming out. I told them, man, the people want a purple Babe. So they have kind of got a ghost table rock shad, and it is wicked. But anyway, if you don't know, and see, I've got a past video about this bait. This is probably the best slow roll swim bait you'll find. You can easily overfish this bait. Personally, Jack, it's all going to be pre-rigged ones. So here's the deal, and I'm going to explain why there's not as many weedless ones that are made. This bait, if you see this line right here, the mold is pressed together, so it's a two-piece mold, and you will get guys that this bait does split right here. But this harness in here, this big screw, there's a screw lock in this thing. I don't know if you can tell it from the video, but there's a screw in here, and it goes with this harness. It helps hold this thing together, and when that's out, they split a lot worse. And when you put, a lot of guys, they look at it and go, oh, there's a line, so that's where I'm going to put my hook in at, and it splits it instantly. So they're a lot harder to hold up. So the harness has always been the most popular because you can fish it so much slower. I mean, guys tell me, well, I bought one and it rolls on its side, or man, I can't figure it out, it just keeps rolling. I said, well, what are you throwing it? Well, 7 to 1. I'm like, dude, throw a 5, 5, or 6 until you get used to, because the slower you can fish it, the more bites you'll get. And one thing I will tell you, if you're getting a lot of fish hit it, not take it, just go and stop it and let it fall real slow, and they will crush this thing. But 3FFishing.com, Monday night, I'll post on Instagram and on Facebook when they're available. I'm really interested to see the new Purple Haze. That's going to be the Baitman color. Dude, Bait Sanity makes really good stuff, man. I'm glad. I know it has a nice glide. Definitely going on my tackle warehouse list. So I'm going to make a Black Friday YouTube video, I believe, and you'll be able to get on my website. I got to update that thing. They actually sent me notice that, hey, your credit card don't work no more because it expired. And so I'm going to put a list of all the Black Friday sales I can find. You know, guys, 6 Cents is going to have a killer Black Friday. Yep, good tip. If y'all can get some mended, and it's just not for the Babe, for any freaking swim baits, you got to have mended. You know how many fish, like Scottsboro tackles and even bass tricks I've saved by catch 7, 8 fish on them, and you're like, man, that thing's junk. And then you take a mended, and you put it to it and lay that one to the side, and then go rig a new one up. And by the time your new one's all beat up, your mended one's fixed, and you catch another 5 or 6 fish off. It's literally one thing I think all anglers need to have is some mended and super glue. Save a lot of money that way. I throw a Babe just on, you know, Clark's got it right. 795 SB is really the only rod you need for the Babe. And I tell guys, if you don't have a dedicated swim bait rod, throw a 7.6 medium heavy to heavy. 17-pound line, you're going to catch fish. What is my old faithful lure when fishing gets tough? A 1/8 ounce Picasso shakedown head on a watermelon candy Zoom trick worm. When it is stupid tough, I've caught them on that. I don't know why. I can fish it super, super slow. I can just drag it along and I can get a bite. Now, that said, I really haven't been a Ned rig guy for very long, and I think now, as much as I know about a Ned rig and more of fishing it when it's tough, and I fished it this spring when it was really tough and caught a lot of fish, I'm going to figure out that Ned rig even more, and I think that's going to put more fish in the boat for me. I'm not a good skipper, but I've heard a lot of guys say they can skip the bait really, really good. Thanks. So when throwing them, you just start your retrieve as soon as it hits the water and it's slowly getting lower in the water, or does the swim bait stay at the same depth as steady retrieve? Jack, that's a great question. I'll count it down. Let's just say when I prototype these things in Lake X, most of the fish I was catching on a bass tricks were in like 12 foot of water. So I'd throw the Babe in behind it, and I'd count it down, and it holds really steady at whatever column water. Now, if you want to fish it up, I suggest reeling it with the rod tip up a little bit because you don't want to get too fast with a roll. But you can crank it real quick to get it up high and then get a nice steady retrieve if you want that, 1 to 2 foot water column. It's pretty crazy. It's awesome to see these fish come up and eat it. But typically I count to 4 or 5 and I just slow, steady retrieve. And you'll know when you get a bite. I mean, they absolutely crush this thing. Anybody else try graphite braid for crankbait? The line sinks. I actually like throwing braid on a trap with a leader. That's something I started doing last year, and I'll run like 40-pound braid, 40 or 50-pound braid to like a 15, 17-pound leader. And one, you can hum a trap way out there. Two, you get a little bit more leverage on a fish, especially with a soft rod. I like a soft rod for a trap, and that braid kind of lets me get those hooks in just a little bit more, but the rod being really soft doesn't let me just overpower them. It's lipless crankbait fishing. You're going to lose fish. Some guys are really good with them, and I feel like I'm really streaky. I'll have like 2 weeks where I do really good and not lose a fish. The next time I go out, every one of them comes off. And then I'm changing hooks, I'm changing baits, changing rods, and then thanks to got me and my boy Jaints shirt. It's a must. Heck yeah, dude. Man, I had something cool. I had an idea. If Casey would let me do it, I want to put a 6 cents Quake on a shirt and put Quake for Jaints on there, or Jaints love Quakes. Dude, Devin, you got to tie them things on, man. I wish I had a boat deal. Here, Skeeter Boats is going to be looking for some new guys. Rumor has it Skeeter and Yamaha are cutting a lot of people loose. Some guys that have had really long Skeeter Yamaha deals. That's just rumor. That's not a fact. You didn't hear that from me. But it was kind of put out there by somebody else. And man, what's your top 3 brand fluorocarbon lines? Sunline, Assassin, and Sniper are my favorite, and I like Seaguar Braze X. I'm not a big Seaguar guy, but I do like the Braze X. And then I believe Seaguar also makes a really good flipping line. So, but if you just wanted to go brand, Sunline, Seaguar, and believe it or not, I like P-Line. P-Line's fluorocarbon's pretty good. first fluorocarbon I ever used was Berkeley Sensation Gold, and it was dog crap. And I will never ever use that. But I did like Trilane 100%, but they fool you. They give you 15 pound, and it's like 20 pound diameter. But it was pretty good. Dude, glass rods are old school and they work really good. It's unreal when I was selling tackle how many guys want that glass rod. That 735 Dobbins, you can get that glass CB, 765 glass. Guys really like that. Dude, I like that name. Wood rod, two sinkers. That's me. I've got one rod and two sinkers. I have started using a braid and leader on everything. If it's topwater, use mono leader. If it sinks or dives, fluoro. It's going to be really hard to get me to use braid on just a normal crankbait. I'm going to be a copolymer or I'm going to be a fluorocarbon guy, and I just don't see myself changing on deep divers and stuff like that. But as far as everything else, yeah, I think you're on the right path, man. I really like throwing a football jig braid to fluoro. And the cool thing is, if you're using braid, you really don't even have to use fluorocarbon. You can use a mono leader, and then you got like a shock absorber. So, what's your best hook using a swing head jig mode? Whatever your favorite EWG size hook is, a 4/0 or a 5/0. Probably a 5/0 owner. If you can find an owner, that's what I would go with. But I don't know if they make EWGs for mold. If they do, it'd be really good. So. Oh, yeah. I've heard of a Laird Jensen baby brush crank. They're hard to find, man, but they're sweet. Victor Hernandez, good question. Do I catch more bass on scented lures? I don't know if I catch more, but there are times when I believe scent makes a huge difference. There's some times where I don't think it matters a bit. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't ever put scent on a crankbait. I see these people talk about fish tabs and put this on your topwater and it leaves a trail. Man, get that shit out of here. That don't work. But now, if you're going to put scent on a jig or stuff, I believe that does make a difference. Because you can't tell me if you're burning a 6XD down there and you've got a little tad that smells like a shad and you run it through the school, they go, oh, God, it smells like a shad. I got to bite it. No, they ain't doing that because they're reacting on that bait. But now, I do think a lot of guys put, some kind of bait sauce, anise oil on their soft swim baits, and if you're reeling them really slow, I could see where they, kind of pick up a scent trail. But it ain't like deer where these bass run around going, oh, shad over here, shad over there, like deer, checking for doe pests. Largemouth don't swim around and go and squint and go, smells like a shad here, smells like a shad on this stump, It's always smart to lube up big baits with smelling jelly. I tell you what, it's always a good time to be lubing up your big worms too. Just a tip from me, more lube is always good. When you're going into some really thick, nasty stuff that you ain't ever been in, definitely lube up your soft plastic, your worm or anything, or your beavers. Definitely lube the beaver. Put some good scent on it. You don't want anything too strong on the beaver though. Strike Force is cool stuff, Perryman. That is the scent I really like to use. Have you used the Ned Fry on a shaky head? I have not. I think the Ned Fry is going to be great just on a Ned rig head. Ben Milliken caught them really good on a Ned head. So, Coco the Beast, great name. What is my favorite reel to date? I really love my Daiwas, but if I had to name one reel that I've caught more fish on, as my absolute favorite, it was the Shimano Chronarch 100. The Pearl series was my favorite reel to date, and I wish I'd never sold mine. I'm telling you, that reel is 25 years old, and it will outcast almost any of the new stuff any day of the week by far. And then the E-Series Chronarchs were just right behind it. Super good. You can find these. If I was to give someone a tip about, man, my son's wanting to fish high school, I need to get him some nice stuff, get on eBay, get on Facebook, find the old Pearl or Gold Chronarchs, get them cleaned up by a guy, and you will have reels just as good as anybody else, period. They are awesome. They only got like 5 ball bearings, but they cast a mile. Brandon, I think NetBait is making the B-Bug. So what's going on with NetBait? They've kind of consolidated with some other companies, Scumfrog and Snagproof. Halo Fishing, and I forgot the name of their new company, but NetBait is going to be stronger than ever. So Justin Sword, the owner of NetBait, is a great businessman. He makes some great products, and you're going to see some of these other companies get revitalized, juiced up, better packaging, more marketing behind them. And dude, I love NetBait. I mean, I've got a giant box full of pack craws. That's why I don't buy them, because I got way too many of them. But what's your take on the Tatula SV? I think that is probably my favorite Daiwa reel. I've got several Daiwas right now. They're all Tatulas, but I really love the SV. This is my favorite. That Melon Dawn's a sweet color. Let's see. Places where you would love to fish. Man, I have not been on Toledo Bend. I'd love to go there. I want to go to Falcon. I've been to Falcon once with a video camera, and it was sick. I filmed Alton Jones down there. I want to go out to California, fish the Delta, fish Clear Lake, go out to Diamond Valley Lake, and some of that other stuff. Oh, guys, I just had a barking spider hit me. It was pretty rough. All right, I'll answer some more questions. Appreciate it. No charge tonight on the question asking. It's usually at least $2. Do you ever add nail weights to swim baits to get a different rate of fall? Thinking of buying multiple HUDs, I can add a nail weight to make it run deeper. Yes. I don't know about running deeper, but an Osprey or any of these line through baits, sometimes they get a tendency to roll on their side, and you can put a nail weight on the other side and kind of counteract that. That's how I do it. I know guys that wrap lead tape, like storm suspend strips around the bottom on their beast hooks to get just that's right, Tim, just get a little bit more weight on a beast hook. Maybe you want a 1/2 ounce weight on a 6 ounce belly hook on a swim bait. Well, you can wrap enough that suspend strip that you can get that heavier weight without having to go up in hook size. So, but lots of tricks to that. I've seen guys actually stuff like the bass casting sinkers up in swim baits to get them a lot heavier. But I have not thrown the Megabass Griffin crankbait. I know a lot of guys like that Wiggle Griffin. Havoc line was pretty much discontinued and moved into power bait. So that's kind of how I was thinking. The whole Guggen baits favorite rods. I think I think Guggen baits are still going to be their own deal, but favorite is still own them, but it's going to be separate from favorite rods. That's how Havoc was with power bait. It was called Havoc. It was owned by Pure Fishing. I think the Havoc stuff was kind of out there. I really like the Pit Boss, and I'm glad they kept that in the power bait line. And there's a few others that went to the straight power bait. Love to go fish Berryessa or San Vicente. Man, if I could get out to California next year, I'd love to do it. Dave, you let me know when the best time to come out there. I'm sure I can hook up with Matt and Tim for a day. I just talked to Tim today. I had to check in on him. I had to bust his balls. He had a little photo on Facebook, and he was wearing white sunglasses and a flat bill. Yeah. That's a good idea, Coco. I'd like to get one in my hand. So that's another reason I'm going to sell a bunch of my stuff. I really want to fish with more of the 6 cents rods. Every one of them I've liked. I want a unicorn. I want a Milliken rod and a Divine rod. And I love to do a video talking about the pros and cons of each one and which one's best. Any input on the new Plano Edge boxes? I'd like to grab one on Tackle Warehouse. I think a cool show would be a terminal tackle show, the coolest of the new terminal stuff you got to have. Obviously, I love Bassmont, but you see it every week. I've got the coffins, terminals, and these. But one, I need more boxes, and two, again, just like anything else, you got to open your mind. You can't be just one-sided all the time. And that says something. I usually don't buy this much storage stuff, but I'll tell you a cool box I've got right here. I don't think I've ever shown you guys. If I don't knock this one out. My buddy Mark Menendez gave this to me. This is the die safe, and what's really cool about this right there is this is great for co-anglers, and if you're a boat owner, it's awesome. You got this box, and they give you this die, which is great too. Now it's not as thick as Spike It, which is fine because sometimes I think Spike It just really overpowers everything. But you take your die, you sit it right here in the middle in this little slot. So when you're opening it, if you spill it, it's absorbed in the foam here. Simple idea. Then give you 3 bottles of dye with the case. Tackle Warehouse carries these. What I've been trying to tell Mark and the guys that designed this, I love the concept. Would love to see one more bottle and dye for the price you get the box. But I would like to see a co-angler friendly one. Maybe that's half the size with a circle. So these guys that are fishing BFLs and ABAs and whatever else they're wearing their jerseys at, they can easily put it into a box. Because if you put this in your co-angler backpack, you're taking up a lot of space. So Granite City, Illinois, Tom. Man, I've been there several times over there to the racetrack, the dirt track. What is my favorite blade bait rod? Ooh, that's a good question. Do you mean like jackhammer rod or throwing a blade bait like a, just a blade bait? Yeah, that's a great product. The die safe there. Let me see if I got something we can dye real quick. Surely I got soft plastic around here. Let's get something we want a little chartreusey on. We'll just get us a little Kitech. Get us a little sexy shad. Let's just say we're going to use this guy as a teaser on an A-rig. This is also helpful if you don't want to spill on your laptop. You just open up the die safe here. And they make also several formulas. This is boiled crawfish. This is garlic bread scent. And don't actually put this on your garlic. This is red. So all you gotta do is take your little die safe, open her up here, put her in the middle. So I'm gonna dye the tip of this swim bait. And I'm just gonna stick her in here. I'm gonna hold her 1, 2, 3. And not super bright, but they're just on the tip. Now, if you want it to get even more, you hold it in the die just a little bit longer. And it's cool is if it spills, like so, it's just going right on that foam. Now I got my little chartreuse tipped Kitech swim bait. It gives you a place to lay your bait too, instead of on the carpet while you go full with some other things. You go, oh crap, I forgot my swim bait head or whatnot. You just lay your bait right there in the box. You're good to go. I've ruined some boxes by laying dye baits right on top, but now you get this foam. So pretty cool. Tackle Warehouse has got a ton of these in. When would you use the red dye versus the yellow? That's usually in the spring. I know a lot of guys use chartreuse. A lot of guys use blue, but you can tell there, not as thick as Spike It, but definitely it's on there. This light kills it really bad, and that's already kind of a chartreuse bait. But whew, dude, I'd use it just for the scent it puts on there. That's another A-rig tip there. I definitely like a center swim bait that's a different color than the rest of them. I like chartreuse blades on my A-rig as well. Definitely something you guys might want to check out this fall for terminal tackle. Lou's TP1CB is a great bladed jig rod. I haven't used that one. My favorite bladed jig rod right now is probably my 7.4 Dowel. That's a really good one. But I've used my 7.4 Dowel bladed jig rod. The 6 cents Lux is really good. And then when it's really early spring and soft, I like a soft rod. So that $99 Stix hybrid stick works really good. It's 99 bucks. I have used iRods. I like most of them. Just don't own any of them. Red dye on a pumpkin seed lizard tail. Yes, that's a good one. I know of some guys that like, red dye on a watermelon tail or watermelon red or just any kind of browns. Maybe they want to dye their jig chunks or the tip of their Ned baits. Heck yeah, I am going to make it to the Let's Go Fishing show. I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm going to go to Collinsville, Illinois this year. I'll be going to the East Tennessee Fishing Show. If Hog Farmer's there, I'll be hanging out with him. Bag 5 Baits, East Tennessee Fishing. I'm going to hang out in his booth. I'm going to go to the Collinsville show, hang out with Mike Russell from Bag 5 Baits, and going to do some blogs and probably some live streams and stuff. Dude, JJ's Magic works really good. It stinks really, really bad, though. $153 guys watching. I don't know what happened last week. We had 500, but that's all good, guys. We have been on here for about an hour. What's up, you fish more? So, I really just kind of winged it tonight. I really don't have a lot of crazy stuff to talk about. Balls kind of hurt me there, but next week we're going to talk about winter cranking and fall cranking. And unfortunately, I sold a bunch of my balsa baits, so I don't have everything in there I want to talk about. So I have to get some more. But hey, we all sell baits, and I'll be honest, I ain't going to hide it. I buy baits all the time and wait 2-3 months and sell them to make about 10-20 bucks on them. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Have you seen the Megabass Mega Dog? That's a huge topwater. Yes, I have, Vincent. I have seen it. Good one. But guys, I'm going to have to get off here. I've got to wake up and go film some fishing in the morning. So I'm going to do that. And thanks for y'all joining me. I'm going to try to make some videos this week. If not, you'll see me next Saturday night, late night, 10 o'clock. Hopefully there's no crazy things going on in the world. And we're going to talk some winter, late fall crankbaits, and we'll see if I can't get some other stuff. Thanks so much for joining me again tonight, guys. I appreciate it every week. You guys have a good one, and God bless.